Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Connolly with Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're going to be looking at the golf swing of Justin Thomas from a few different swings, a couple different angles, and we're going to talk about what you can learn from Thomas's golf swing. Now, in a lot of these past swing analysis, I've spoken about Justin Thomas's swing a lot, talking about how great he is with leveraging the ground and some rotational things, so let's dive right into the swing and we'll see what we can learn from it. First off, I think one thing to always look at in the setup is posture. Not only does JT have a great posture over the ball, but the posture throughout the takeaway remains very constant, remains very consistent. The spine angle is really in great positions throughout the entire swing, which is why someone like JT has not really had any back issues that we've seen some of these other guys have. So that's been very helpful, and that posture remains, it obviously changes through impact, but it keeps him balanced and stable, and rarely will you see Justin Thomas off balance in the follow through. He always holds that finish. Very beautiful motion through the ball. So there's a lot to love just in terms of his setup and the posture at address. Another thing to look at is how great his swing is in terms of it being on plane. You look at the takeaway, right, that club face matches up perfectly. It's very square. It matches up perfectly with the hands in the takeaway. At the top of the backswing, he has just an unbelievable position with how high the hands are. And again, that face manipulation stays very consistent. That face is not wide open. It's not shut in the slightest bit. Remains super neutral, so it remains on plane. And then obviously as he shallows out through the ball, he's just perfectly on plane. So there's a lot of talk recently about these crazy two-plane swings. Matthew Wolff, how over the top and how wide he is, and then how exaggerated he comes through the ball. Obviously it works for him. Would I sit here and recommend something that exaggerated? Absolutely not. I'm not saying you need to be on one plane, but to be exaggerated on different planes from the takeaway through transition, it just complicates things. So having something simple like JT has, and you don't have to copy it move for move, but just using this type of plane swing as a guideline can be very helpful. Now let's talk about JT's swing rotationally. I think rotationally this is one of the most interesting swings on tour because obviously, as many people know, JT is strong, but he's not a big guy, not super tall, doesn't weigh a lot, yet he still bombs it. And a huge part of that is how massive his upper body rotation is in the takeaway. You look at the top of this backswing, you can see his entire chest. It takes such great flexibility and strength to get the club to this position. Most golfers who can do this shouldn't, because because how far back it is, it makes it difficult to come through the ball and make consistent contact with the ball. So you have to be careful, and it's not often that I say this is picturesque, but maybe try not to do this. But with rotation that far back, I don't know if the extra distance you'll get out of it is worth the decrease in consistency of striking. So if you can do it and hit the ball consistently, absolutely do it. But just know that this is it's tricky. You need to be a pro, or you need to be a very good golfer to pull it off. But the reason that this upper body rotation is so impressive is because the downswing is not fueled by that upper body. The downswing is entirely fueled by that belt buckle moving to start that downswing and creating an unbelievable amount of power through impact. A super interesting part of Thomas's swing is that lower body actually starts to uncoil before his hands have even stopped the takeaway, which will create an unbelievable amount of clubhead speed and lag through the ball. So as that move through impact continues and those hips continue to fire down, the lower body takes over and the hands and the upper body just follow. And that uncoiling is just a massive creator of speed. The chest rotation through the ball is matched and complemented wonderfully by the lower body rotation. Being able to fire those hips is especially important with the driver, and when you have that upward angle of attack, Justin Thomas's ability to clear those hips and just let the rest of the body follow suit is one of the reasons that he's such a great ball striker and can hit the ball so far. And it would be crazy of me not to talk about Justin Thomas's ability ability to leverage the ground, which is something that his lower body rotation allows him to do. So when those hips clear out, the only way to have your hips clear out is by engaging your legs. You can feel it in your upper legs, the quads a lot. So Thomas's left leg, that front leg, can oftentimes leave the ground entirely, and that's because he's pushing down. He's almost sitting down in a chair. It's a squat-like position. He's sitting down so much through impact that when he comes up on the ball and all of that energy is released, he jumps off the ground sometimes, especially with driver. You'll see that front leg leave the ground and come back to his body, and that is a key indication of how well he's leveraging the ground and utilizing the hips to create that power. It's that squatting move. There's a lot of videos of golfers, doing this exaggerated squatting move through the ball, and it may look silly, but what they're really trying to do is utilize the lower body to get a better strike on the ball, to get more distance, especially with driver. You won't see Justin Thomas do this with irons or wedges. He's a lot more succinct in his motion, and that's because he doesn't need to get 20 extra yards out of a pitching wedge. He needs to be much more controlled. But in terms of leveraging the ground, I don't think there's anyone who does it better than him. Maybe Rory. Those are probably the two best. But if you're looking to get some more distance out of your driver, which I know that a lot of people are, a great way to do so is just feel that squatting motion, feel the leveraging of the ground, and I think just looking at a golf swing like Justin Thomas can really help you out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the swing of Justin Thomas. If you have any questions on things that I mentioned or comments on things that I didn't mention, leave them in the comment section down below. We appreciate all the support on these videos very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well and take care.